With that being said, you don't got to go out and see Blue Beetle, and it looks like a lot of people aren't because this movie is bombing spectacularly. Oh my goodness, it's so bad. It only got $25 million in its opening weekend. Now, you may think 25 million, that's very, very good. Problem is they spent 100 million on it for budgeting, and I don't know how much the marketing was, but it was probably a couple more million on top of that. And because it always goes down, the numbers always goes down, it's very unlikely that this movie is going to make its budget back, let alone the marketing budget. And also, what's going against this movie right now is that, the theaters have to make money as well. From what my understanding is, theaters take about a third of the box office. So just to make back its budget, it would probably have to make $130 million. And I do not see that happening at all. This movie is an absolute bomb, which is what we've come to expect from DC in the past year or so after, Black Adam bombed. Wasn't a total bomb, but it was not good by any means. Failed to make $400 million at the box office. Shazam was an absolute catastrophe. Only made $133 million worldwide. The Flash, also just massively horrible. I think The Flash managed to make $55 million, but that 72% drop in second weekend just absolutely gutted it. And it did not make, it had no legs whatsoever. And so there could have been a little bit of hope for Blue Beetle in that, unlike Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and The Flash, it only has a second weekend drop of 61%, which is still very bad for a movie that only made 25 million. You tend to see high 50s and 60s% drops for big movies that open to $100 million because everyone who wanted to see it is going to go see it opening weekend to avoid spoilers. But for a movie to only make 25 million and still have a 60% drop, that just shows that there's basically no interest in this movie whatsoever. And so it could have been hopeful in that only 61%, that's a bit better, but the fact that it made less in its opening weekend than The Flash or Shazam 2 means that it's not going to matter in the long run. I don't think this movie is going to have legs. It's going to get crushed by everything else that's been coming out, and we're all going to forget about it very, very soon. I wouldn't be surprised if you can watch Blue Beetle on HBO Max in the near future, because I do not think it's going to have legs. Its only cumulative domestic gross is now 43 million. It's still nowhere near its $100 million production budget. It's really, really bad. They are losing so much money, and given that all of these movies have flopped this year, I don't think Aquaman 2 is going to do any better. Aquaman 2, I think, might be the worst one of all. I know the first one made $1 billion. That might be the one thing that's going for it, but here's the thing. Every DC movie coming out in the past year has not made a lot of money. Also, Amber Heard is in it. A lot of people do not like Amber Heard, myself included. I'm not saying Johnny Depp is a great guy. From what I know, it looks like both people did bad things to each other, but I am not inclined to support Amber Heard at all. And so I might go see it on a Tuesday instead of opening weekend. And so I haven't decided if I'm going to boycott it opening weekend or not. I'm going to go see it so I can give you guys my review. It does not look good for Aquaman 2. So those are my thoughts on that, but I'll probably make a video on that going forward and we can talk about that